Story of a Disappearance and an Appearance by M.R. James. The letters which I now publish were sent to me recently by a person who knows me to be interested in ghost stories. There is no doubt about their authenticity. The paper on which they are written, the ink, and the whole external aspect put their date beyond the reach of question. The only point which they do not make clear is the identity of the writer. He signs with initials only, and as none of the envelopes of the letters are preserved, the surname of his correspondent, obviously a married brother, is as obscure as his own. No further preliminary explanation is needed, I think. Luckily, the first letter supplies all that should be expected. Letter 1. Great Christ Hall, December the 22nd, 1837. My dear Robert, it is with great regret for the enjoyment I am losing, and for a reason which you will deplore equally with myself, that I write to inform you that I am able to join your circle for this Christmas. But you will agree with me that it is unavoidable when I say that I have within these few hours received a letter from Mr. Hunt at B. to the effect that our Uncle Henry has suddenly and mysteriously disappeared, and begging me to go down there immediately and join the search that is being made for him. Little as I or you either, I think, have ever seen of Uncle, I naturally feel that this is not a request that can be regarded lightly, and accordingly I propose to go to B by this afternoon's mail. Reaching it late in the evening, I shall go to the rectory, but put up at the King's Head, and to which you may address letters. I enclose a small draft, which you will please make use of for the benefits of the young people. I shall write you daily, supposing me to be detained more than a single day, what goes on, and you may be sure, should the business be cleared up in time to permit of my coming to the manor, after all, I shall present myself, but I have but a few minutes at disposal. With cordial greetings to you all, and many regrets, believe me, your affectionate bro, W.R. King's Head, December 23rd, 1837. My dear Robert, in the first place, there is as yet no news of Uncle H, and I think you may finally dismiss any idea, I won't say hope, that I might after all turn up for Christmas. However, my thoughts will be with you, and you have my best wishes for a really festive day. Mind that none of my nephews or nieces expend any fraction of their guineas on presents for me. Since I got here, I have been blaming myself for taking this affair of Uncle H too easily. From what people here say, I gather that there is very little hope that he can still be alive, but whether it is by accident or design that carried him off, I cannot judge. The facts are these. On Friday the 19th, he went as usual shortly before 5 o'clock to read evening prayers at the church, and when they were over, the clerk brought him a message, in response to which he set off to pay to a sick person in an outlying cottage the better part of 2 miles away. He paid the visit and started on his return journey at about 6:30. This is the last that is known of him. The people here are very much grieved at his loss. He had been here many years, as you know, and though, as you also know, he was not the most genial of men, and had more than a little of the matinee in his composition, he seems to have been active in good works and unsparing of trouble to himself. Poor Mrs. Hunt, who has been his housekeeper ever since she left Woodley, is quite overcome. It seems like the end of the world to her. I am glad that I did not entertain the idea of taking quarters at the rectory, and I have declined several kindly offers of hospitality from people in the place, preferring, as I do, to be independent, and finding myself very comfortable here. You will, of course, wish to know what has been done in the way of inquiry and search. First, nothing was to be expected from investigation at the rectory, and, to be brief, nothing has transpired. I asked Mrs. Hunt, as others had done before, whether there was either any unfavourable symptom in her master, such as might portend a sudden stroke or attack of illness, or whether he had reason to apprehend any such thing. But both she and also his medical man were clear that this was not the case. He was quite in his usual health. In the second place, naturally, ponds and streams have been dragged, and fields in the neighbourhood, which he is known to have visited last, have been searched, without result. I have myself talked to the parish clerk. More important, have been to the house where he paid his visit. There can be no question of any foul play on these people's part. The only man in the house is ill in bed and very weak. The wife and the children, of course, could do nothing themselves, nor is there the shadow of probability that they or any of them should have agreed to decoy poor Uncle H out in order that he might be attacked on the way back. They had told what they knew to several other inquirers already, but the woman repeated it to me. The rector was looking just as usual. He wasn't very long with the sick man. He ain't, she said, like some what has a gift in prayer, but there, if we was all that way, however would the chapel people get their living? He left some money when he went away, and one of the children saw him cross the stile into the next field. He was dressed, as he always was, wore his bands. I gather he is nearly the last man remaining who does so, at any rate in this district.